Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the series where I show you guys how to play against lower level players. This is going to be the second game with the noob killer setup because it worked very well in the first game the first game that I used it in. So yeah, we're against Comparsita. So yeah, let's get into this game. So then moving some pieces on the left. So I'm guessing some sort of martial blitz of some sort on the left because with bronze players, the first side they advance on is typically their martial side, but again, it's not always. So we got a major there. That's always good. Yeah, that's always good. So I say scouting anything better than a captain is good, except like there are some exceptions where in the end game it can be good to scout like a lieutenant or a sergeant. So then you can like board read all your opponent's pieces. But yeah, generally scouting a major is good. So we're gonna go ahead and trade scouts there. I want to keep this captain here to cover my marshal and colonel because you never want your marshal revealed. It just makes it so difficult to play. And then like you can get counterattacked and it's just not good. So I'm safe for so there I moved it away from covering my marshal because I knew that major and I knew that there wasn't a scout there because I knew about the major. So here I'm trying to bring in another captain, like I'm trying to bluff and like skewer that whatever that front row piece is with both captains, and hopefully he'll like think one of them is maybe a marshal or general or colonel, and he won't take it with the major. So I'm thinking that the piece diagonal to the major, that one behind the lake, that's like to the right of the piece that I'm targeting with those captains. That piece I'm thinking that's either the marshal or the general. It's just because they typically have pieces like guarded by a major and like some sort of high ranking piece in case you like hit that piece that is being guarded by with a high piece. I'm not sure if that actually made sense, but it's yeah. So here I'm pretty convinced that it's the marshal guarding it. So sergeant takes there. That's totally fine with me. I'll just take that with the captain, and then I can move my colonel over, and my spy will be safe. So yeah. So some people say it's like not good to have a spy that like in the front, but worst case scenario, they come down with a major and lull the spy, then you'll just take it with your colonel, and that's fine. But most of the time, there isn't anything higher than a captain in the front row. So he scouts lieutenant. In my opinion, that was kind of a waste of a scout because the lieutenant is a front row piece, and front row pieces typically are not higher than captains, as I said before. So we find a sergeant there, and he's probably gonna end up retreating with that sergeant. So I'm gonna try to two square it. He does let me get it, which makes me think that it's definitely defended by something. He's advancing on the captain, so now I know that I need to move my colonel over because in case it's like a major, I don't want to just like getting a free captain because yeah, you always will want to avoid having hanging pieces. So it looks like it's just a captain when we trade. That's not ideal because I need to cover those pieces very quickly, or I'm gonna get my colonel or my spy revealed, which is just it's just never good to have that pieces revealed. And if you can avoid it, you should. So him moving down, my lieutenant makes me think that both pieces guarding that sergeant are good. I'm just gonna take a chance. It's whatever if it gets taken, because it's lieutenant. It's not like very important. It looks like piece in front of my lieutenant right now is probably a bomb. So it's coming down with it with two different pieces on it. So I'm gonna advance on that thing because I'm guessing that one is probably a captain. It looks like he does that. That's interesting. So yeah, I debate going up, but then I realized it's just gonna be a bomb. So I think I end up holding there because if he hits that with let's say like a major or colonel or something, that I can hit my major into whatever's in front of it. Again, I think it's captain. That sergeant up, that was not a good move because I'm still like not covering my colonel, which is the whole point of moving it out in the first place. So let's see what he does on the right with that lieutenant. So it looks like he's gonna take it with a major. That makes me think the piece in front of my major might be a bluff. I'm gonna hit it, so it's another major. So that's very interesting. He brought out two majors there. So yeah, it's just interesting. If I were him, I wouldn't have done that. Okay, so I'm probably gonna scout that. I don't know why I didn't. Why didn't I scout that? I should be scouting that. Because I think that, okay, well, he did it for me. Yeah, that could have been like a pretty good piece, but you never know. Just a little like piece recap. There's a major on the right. That's three in front of that bomb that I have on the right, and then in front of that two. Okay, it's gonna be confusing. Um, on the left, in front of that captain, two in front of it is a major. So we know both majors. One's in the right, one's in the left. And that's very good info. So I move up here to make a decision. You always you always want to make your opponents think because they might choose the wrong option. So he hits that with the minor. That was. I'd say that that is the wrong option in that scenario because I do find out a colonel and I lose a sergeant. But yeah, so losing sergeant, finding out a colonel, and taking a minor. That is definitely a positive trade. Coming out with that, I don't know what I think about that piece. I think it could be the Marshal, but I don't think it is. No, it's definitely not. So if it was imaging my Colonel and Spy, I'll probably have to hit it with the Colonel because, yeah, you wouldn't be there like that with your Marshal. So we had a Lieutenant there. If it was the Marshal, I would have basically lost the game if he lowered my Spy. But yeah, my senses proved correct. I took that with my Colonel. Revealing a Colonel for a Lieutenant, it's not the best, but it's better than I'm lotting my Spy and revealing my General. And also, I didn't know what it was. It could have been like a captain or a major. My opinion, revealing it for a captain is like an even trade. So here, with my minor, I'm thinking that on the right, um, is the spy. I think that is right in front of my minor. I think that that's the spy, and it ended up being a colonel. So that's still really good info though. So I'm thinking the piece next to the colonel is either the marshal or the spy. I don't know which side the general's on. So the spy is typically on the same side as the general. So I don't know that yet. So I can't really make a decision on whether that's Marshall or the spy, but I do believe it's one of the two. I doubt it's I doubt the piece to the left of the colonel's any good. It's probably a bomb to be honest. So it is that, so I'm gonna take that. It's lieutenant, so that is it is somewhat lucky in my end, but I doubt he'll move in with the major because the other captain could be something good. So even same with that unknown piece, again, I think that's Jedi the Marshal, so I'm totally fine with letting him take a captain. Yeah, in retrospect, I probably should have moved the unknown captain down because I would rather have him take a known captain than an unknown one. So that was a very small error on my end. So we find the gen, which makes me think the piece to the right of the colonel is the marshal. So at this point, so we know the gen. The marshal's pretty obvious. Oh yeah, and here I do a move that I think is pretty cool. So see how the gen's in my base. So he doesn't know which one's my marshal, and I think he might be afraid of that sergeant or my marshal. So you notice what I did here? I moved my sergeant to the left, and that's telling him that it's the marshal, and that's telling him that it's safe to go right. But it's not safe to go right because that's actually my marshal. So in my opinion, that was a little bit of an outplay there. So yes, yeah, I bluffed that sergeant as the marshal, and then I just used my real marshal and took that general. So yeah, that's another one of the points in the game where you get your opponent to make a guess on which like just make a guess, and it's like in this case it was a 50-50 chance, and he gets wrong. If I were him, I would have probably retreated because either of those could have been the marshal, and I wouldn't want to risk a 50-50 chance of my general being captured. Yeah, but that's just personally what I would do if I were him. So this point, so I know a colonel, and I'm pretty sure the marshal is next to it. I'd be pretty shocked if it's not, to be honest. So it's that's probably the spy, but I don't want to hit it in case. Actually, I don't know why I didn't hit that to be honest. But I know that the front piece is not the spy. Oh yeah. I didn't hit that because the in front of my marshal right now is a major, and and if it would have hit that, would have let the major down. So now I'm gonna bring my scout up to find out what that piece is that's diagonal to my marshal. And if it's the spy, then I get a free major. If it's not the spy, I still get a free major. I just want to know what it is. So it's lieutenant. So looks like that was a little bit of a bluff. So here, I don't think the spy's behind the major. I really don't, but I think it's that piece that's acting like a bomb in the my opponent's second row. It's it's like that piece behind the lake. It's kind of hard to describe where it is. That's the piece that I think is the marshal moving out. And since I think that, I know that I can bring my colonel down up the left and get a free major and possibly a free lieutenant as well. So yeah, it looks like he will let me in. We'll probably end up hitting that colonel, hoping that the spy isn't behind it with his marshal there. He's thinking about it. So yeah, looks like he will. That is a decent move because my opponent doesn't really have that many options. So yeah, we're gonna get it with the spy. So at this point, we're up a marshal, down a sorry, up a marshal, up a general, down a colonel, and we are down a captain, down in the lower pieces. Yeah, and so we also got a major there, which is like pretty cool. I didn't think the size behind it, but there's always is that small chance. So that's a known colonel. So yeah, I just move my gen over just to defend my spy. But there's no need to lose the spy for nothing. So it looks like he's gonna go over for Lotto. I'm not gonna give him that chance. And now he's coming down with that colonel on the right. And looks like that captain did move, so that is not Lotto. But I think it's Lotto, and I get freaked out that he's gonna hit that lieutenant, and then like the minors. So it looks like we trade off colonels. I'm totally fine with that because I'm up a lot of material. So I know his last colonel, and other than that, he has one major, and then it's just like captains. So right now I probably should be trapping that with my gen if I can. And then I can just like use my majors to just get everything. So here I think I'm bringing the spy up. I mean the scout up to try to get my opponent's spy because I'm pretty sure I know where it is. Unfortunately, he's not gonna let me. He's gonna move that piece down. See here, I go to trap the colonel because once I have it trapped, then I basically win the game. Looks like he's gonna start lottoing because he realizes his situation is not the best. So yeah, I continue to trap it. I should have moved right there, but I didn't. But it worked out in the end. So yeah, the colonel is trapped. Of course, he doesn't know it's trapped because he doesn't know where my bombs are. So he brings a scout over, probably to scout that bomb. So I could bring my marshal over. So yeah, oh yeah. So now I bring the scout up and try to get the spy. Because I believe that piece in the center is like a bomb. It's a center bomb. So yeah, I'm gonna hit that. And yep, my board reading skills are correct. So or my board read was correct. So yeah, so we get the info of the spy and we take the spy. So now, so now it's basically GG because my marshal and general are invincible, and his colonel, which is the only piece that has an advantage of me on, I can just bring it down, get the free colonel, and then the game's basically wrapped up. But this guy is still continuing to play, even though this game is heavily in my favor at this point. So yeah, I don't even know why I considered moving that miner up in the back. So yeah, I bring my marshal over to the right just because I know that that's a major in the front row, and like getting a free major that would be nice. So I'm pretty sure that's a minor. I'm totally fine with that though, because like it's it's I'm perfectly fine with my opponent losing another minor. I'm not gonna hit him because I want to get my marshal over this quickly. So looks like he decides to hit my sergeant rather than save his major. I mean it was gonna get hit either way by my marshal. Or like I would trap it with the gen. So he's gonna take that with his colonel. I'm gonna continue to trap it with my gen, and basically game over for the Colonel Let's Play is gonna load into a bomb. So yeah, that's basically gonna be GG. Like there's not much he can really do at this point. I have two pieces that are invincible, except of course the bombs. Yeah, he's just not in the best scenarios. So yeah. What helped me when there was that bluff with the sergeant. It looks like he's still playing. So yeah, that bluff with the sergeant on the left as my marshal. That was a really good bluff because then he ended up moving his gen next to my real marshal, and then he just started panicking and just doing whatever he could to get stuff at that point, and that gave me the win in this game. So yeah, that's gonna be GG against Comparsita. Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.